Hey, what's up everyone? If you're new here, welcome to the channel. We're on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we need your help to get there. If you enjoy real football talk without the fluff, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every single subscription helps us grow and bring you more content like this. Now let's get into it. This is the moment everything falls apart. Bill Musgrave sits at a press conference cool as ice and drops a line that changes everything. One play away, two plays away. Simple words. Coach speak that's been recycled a million times. But this time it lands different. This time it cracks open something the Browns have been trying to keep sealed. The phones start buzzing, the tweets start flying, reporters lean forward in their seats. What was supposed to be another routine presser just became the story of the week. Because here's the thing, people don't lose their minds over practice reps unless something deeper is wrong. This isn't about football mechanics or roster depth. This is about trust, about respect, about a franchise that's built its reputation on wasting talent and breaking promises. And now, with Shedeur Sanders caught in the middle of it, every careful word from the coaching staff feels like another layer of deception. Musgrave's calm delivery made it worse. He wasn't flustered, he wasn't defensive. He just smiled and answered like he was reading from a script someone else wrote. That kind of composure doesn't ease tension, it amplifies it. The whole thing started with Tony Rizzo, local guy, respected voice, someone who's been around Cleveland sports long enough to know when something smells off. He goes on air and drops a bomb. Shedeur Sanders isn't getting scout team snaps, not limited work, not developmental reps, nothing. According to Rizzo, the rookie is standing on the sideline during practice with his helmet on, watching like he bought a ticket. That's it. No throws, no reads, no live action, just standing there while everyone else gets work. Now, you'd think that kind of claim would be easy to shut down. A quick statement from the team, maybe some practice footage, and the whole thing goes away. But the Browns didn't do that. They went silent. And in Cleveland, silence is never innocent. Silence is gasoline on a fire that's already burning. Within hours, the story explodes. Social media lights up. Hashtags trend. Fans demand answers. National media picks it up. What should have been a non-story about a rookie learning the system becomes the headline everybody's talking about. And here's where it gets messy, because once the story is out there, the details start changing depending on who you ask. Some outlets say Shedeur's getting limited reps in certain drills. Others insist he's completely frozen out. ESPN mentions developmental work behind the scenes. Local reporters describe practices where Sanders barely moves. One guy says he's running simulations on carpet, which sounds like something you'd make up to mock the Browns, except it might actually be true. Nobody can agree on what's happening, and that confusion only makes people angry. Because if the truth was simple, the Browns would have said it already. If Shedeur was getting normal rookie treatment, they'd show it. If this was all part of some well-thought-out development plan, they'd explain it. But instead, we get vague answers, half statements, and Bill Musgrave sitting at a podium talking about timelines like he's discussing a construction project. One play away, two plays away. What does that even mean? Is he talking about Shedeur's readiness? Is he talking about the playbook? Is he just buying time until this blows over? Here's what makes this different from every other backup quarterback situation in the league. Shedeur Sanders isn't some anonymous 7th round pick fighting for a practice squad spot. He's the son of Deion Sanders. He was a star at Colorado. He's got jersey sales that rival starters. He's got a following that most rookies don't get until year 3. When you draft a player like that, you're not just getting a quarterback. You're getting a brand, a story, a spotlight that doesn't turn off. And Cleveland knew that when they picked him. So when a player with that kind of profile gets sidelined, it doesn't look like patience. It looks like punishment. Fans don't see development, they see disrespect. They see a franchise that's allergic to letting young talent breathe. They see the same old Browns making the same old mistakes, just with a different face. And every day that goes by without a clear explanation, the story gets worse. Every press conference where Musgrave dances around the question, the anger grows. Every practice report that contradicts the last one adds another layer of suspicion. Now let's talk about the theories, because they're everywhere. Some people think think the Browns are protecting Shedeur on purpose. Maybe they don't want him taking hits in practice. Maybe they're worried about his confidence if he struggles early. Maybe they want him fully ready before they throw him into live action. That's the charitable explanation, the one that assumes the Browns are thinking 3 steps ahead and playing the long game. It's possible, but it requires believing that this franchise, the same one that's burned through quarterbacks like disposable lighters, suddenly developed patience and foresight. Then there's the politics angle. Veterans protecting their spots, coaches playing favorites. Somebody in that building doesn't want Shedeur to succeed, so they're freezing him out. Maybe it's the offensive coordinator who didn't get a say in the draft pick. Maybe it's the starter who feels threatened. Maybe it's just organizational dysfunction dressed up as a development plan. Cleveland's got a history of internal chaos, and this situation has all the ingredients. And then there's the wildest theory of all, the one that's gaining traction whether it's true or not. Deion Sanders is orchestrating this. He's watching his son get buried on the depth chart, and he's already planning the exit strategy. Maybe he's working behind the scenes to force a trade. Maybe he's positioning Shedeur to land somewhere that'll actually let him play. Maybe this whole thing is chess, not football. It sounds insane until you remember who we're talking about. Deion doesn't do anything quietly. He's built a career on controlling the narrative, and if he thinks Cleveland's wasting his son's talent, you better believe he's got a plan. None of this is confirmed. That's important to say, but the fact that these theories exist at all tells you how broken the trust is. When fans would rather believe in conspiracy than competence, that's a franchise problem. When the most logical explanation is that the team has no idea what it's doing, that's a culture problem. And when Bill Musgrave sits at a podium and delivers corporate lines instead of real answers, that's a communication problem. Now think about what this feels like for Shedeur. You're 22 years old. You've been the guy your entire life. In high school, you were the star. In college, you ran the show. Your dad's a Hall of Famer. Your name opens doors. Scouts loved you. Fans loved you. You got drafted and you thought this was the beginning of your NFL story. Then you show up and suddenly none of that matters. You're not taking first team reps. You're not taking second team reps. You're not even running scout team. You're just standing there, watching, waiting, being told to be patient while everyone else gets opportunities. For a competitor, that's torture. You didn't work your whole life to stand on the sideline. You didn't prepare for this moment just to watch it happen to someone else. Every snap you don't take feels like a rejection. Every practice where you're ignored feels like a message. And the worst part is, nobody's telling you why. No clear timeline, no honest feedback, just vague coach speak about development and readiness and trusting the process. It's the kind of treatment that breaks players, and Cleveland's acting like it's normal. Here's the thing about development, it's supposed to be visible. When teams talk about bringing a young quarterback along slowly, you still see progress. You see them in preseason games. You see them getting reps with the twos. You see coaches working with them on the sideline, breaking down film, making adjustments. Development isn't hiding someone, it's preparing them. And right now, nobody can point to what Shedeur is actually developing. If he's learning the playbook, great, but you can do that in a classroom. If he's watching film, fantastic, but that doesn't require keeping him off the field entirely. The silence from the Browns makes it worse. If they had a plan, they'd share it. If they believed in Shedeur, they'd show it. If this was all part of some brilliant long-term strategy, they'd at least give fans a reason to trust them. But instead, we get nothing. Just Musgrave at a podium, calm and collected, delivering lines that sound reasonable until you realize they don't actually answer anything. 1 play away, 2 plays away. What play? When? Under what conditions? Who decides? And what happens if that moment never comes? Cleveland fans have seen this before. They've watched the franchise draft quarterbacks and then bury them. They've seen talent wasted because of bad coaching, bad timing, bad luck, or bad management. They've been told to be patient 100 times, and it's never paid off. So when they see Shedeur Sanders standing on the sideline, they're not thinking about development. They're thinking about all the other times this team squandered an opportunity. They're thinking about all the what-ifs that never became reality because someone in that building made the wrong call. And the national media is paying attention now. This isn't just a Cleveland story anymore. It's a Deion Sanders story. It's a draft story. It's a story about hype versus reality, about legacy versus opportunity, about whether the Browns can ever break their own cycle. Every major outlet's covering it. Every analyst's got an opinion. Some defend the Browns, saying rookies need time. Others call it malpractice, a waste of talent that'll haunt the franchise for years. The debate's everywhere, and it's not going away until someone tells the truth. So what's the payoff? What's the end game here? If the Browns are developing Shedeur, nobody can see it. If they're protecting him, it looks more like they're hiding him. If this is all part of Dayon's master plan, then the only thing it's accomplished so far is chaos. The fan base is split. Half the people are furious, demanding the team play the rookie. The other half says to trust the process, give it time, let the coaches coach. But both sides agree on one thing: the way this has been handled is a disaster. Bill Musgrave's press conference was supposed to calm things down. It did the opposite. His tone was too measured. His answers were too polished. He sounded like a PR representative reading from a script instead of a coach being honest about his players. And that smile, that calm, unbothered smile, made it feel like he was in on a joke nobody else understood. Fans wanted transparency, they got corporate speak, they wanted honesty, they got deflection, and now, instead of trust, there's suspicion. The question everyone's asking is simple: why? Why is Shedeur Sanders not playing? Why can't the Browns give a straight answer? Why does every explanation sound like an excuse? If he's not ready, fine, say that. If the playbook's too complex, explain it. If the plan is to sit him all year and let him learn, be upfront about it. But don't treat fans like they're stupid. Don't act like this is normal when it clearly isn't. And don't expect people to stay calm when the one thing the Browns are known for is wasting talent. Here's the reality. This situation is a test, not just for Shedeur, but for the entire organization. Can they develop a young quarterback without destroying his confidence? Can they handle the pressure that comes with drafting a high-profile player? Can they communicate clearly instead of hiding behind vague coach speak? So far, the answers aren't good. The longer this drags on, the worse it looks. And if Shedeur never gets his shot, or if he finally plays and struggles because he's been kept off the field for too long, Cleveland will have nobody to blame but themselves. The silence can't last forever. Eventually, someone's going to have to tell the truth. Maybe it'll be Musgrave in another press conference. Maybe it'll be the front office releasing a statement. Maybe it'll be Deion Sanders going public and forcing the issue. Or maybe it'll be Shedeur himself walking away from a situation that never gave him a fair chance. Whatever happens, this story isn't over. It's just getting started. And when the truth finally comes out, it's going to redefine either Shedeur's career or the Browns' reputation. Probably both.